you ever felt safe? Because you knew cameras were watching. Most people believe security cameras protect us. They're our digital guardians, our silent witnesses. They record, they observe, they remember. They capture the truth, frame by frame. But what if one night they started watching you? What if the very thing you installed to feel secure became the source of your deepest fear? Tonight's story isn't a campfire tale. It's not a creepypasta you'd find scrolling online in the dead of night. This is a documented case, an event reviewed by police, by system technicians, by people who wish they had never installed cameras in their home at all, because what those cameras captured was never supposed to move. Our story begins in late 2016, in a quiet, isolated corner of rural Pennsylvania. A middle-aged couple, seeking a little extra peace of mind, decided to install a full home surveillance system. There was nothing unusual about their situation. They had no history of crime in the area, no personal threats, no reason to be afraid. It was just a precaution. Their house was set back from the road, a solitary home nestled among dense trees. The nearest neighbor was almost half a mile away. You can imagine the silence out there at night, the kind of deep, enveloping quiet where every creak of the house feels amplified. The system they installed was standard. It included 2 outdoor night vision cameras, one watching the front porch and the other the backyard. Inside, they placed a camera in the living room and another in the main hallway, positioned to face their bedroom door. For weeks, the system worked exactly as expected. It recorded the mailman, a few stray deer wandering through the yard, and the rustling of leaves in the wind. Everything was perfectly normal. Mundane even. The couple checked the feeds occasionally, felt reassured, and then forgot about it. The cameras were just part of the house now, until one night, the quiet was broken. The time was 2:17 a.m. An alert buzzed on the husband's phone. Motion detected. Hallway camera. His heart probably skipped a beat, as anyone's would, waking up to that kind of notification. He grabbed his phone, pulled up the live feed, his eyes scanning the grainy, black and white image of his own hallway. But there was nothing. The hallway was still, empty. No animals, no shadows from passing cars. The trees outside were motionless. There was no wind. He dismissed it as a glitch, maybe a spider crawling across the lens, and tried to go back to sleep. But then, another alert, 2:18 a.m. Motion detected, hallway camera. He checked again. Still nothing. Then another. Las 2:19 a.m. And another. 2:20 a.m. The alerts kept coming, one after another. A relentless digital pulse in the dead of night, always from the same camera, always pointing at an empty space. Frustrated and a little unsettled, he and his wife decided to rewind the footage. They had to see what was triggering the system, and that's when they saw it. The system wasn't malfunctioning. It was a recording movement. But the hallway was empty, except for something strange, something that didn't belong. Pressed flat against the ceiling, almost like a stain, was a dark shape. It wasn't hanging, it wasn't crawling. It was just there, a patch of darkness, in a place where no shadow should be. It was completely still. Yet the system's motion tracking software was frantically drawing a box around it, flagging it as motion. They tried to rationalize it. A shadow from an odd angle, a glitch in the infrared sensor, a distortion from the night vision. They told themselves it had to be a technical error and, unsettled, finally went back to sleep. The next night, a sense of dread hung in the air. They were hesitant to even look, but they had to know. Right on schedule, at 2:17 a.m., the alerts began again. They pulled up the feed. The shape was back, in the exact same spot on the ceiling, but this time, it wasn't still. As they watched, replaying the footage frame by painful frame, they saw it move. It was a slow, unnatural, almost fluidic drift, not down the wall, as gravity would command. It moved horizontally, across the flat surface of the ceiling. It was impossible. It defied logic. And then, something happened that turned their blood to ice. As the shape drifted, the handle on their bedroom door turned, slowly, deliberately, from the inside. But they were both in bed, wide awake, staring at the phone screen. The door never actually opened. The latch didn't even click, but the handle rotated downward, and then slowly back up. And then it did it again. It was as if something on the other side of the door, in the hallway with them, was testing the lock. The next morning, they called the police. An officer arrived, a little skeptical at first, as you'd expect. He listened to their story. his expression shifting from professional patience to genuine confusion as he watched the footage. He replayed the clip of the door handle turning over and over. Then he noticed something even more disturbing. He pointed to the shape on the ceiling. The camera's own infrared lights, invisible to the human eye, were reflecting off the object. That meant it wasn't a shadow. It wasn't a trick of the light. It had depth. It had a surface. It occupied physical space. The officer then asked a simple, chilling question that hung in the air. If it was on the ceiling, why didn't it cast a shadow downward onto the floor? No one had an answer. The investigation deepened. They brought in audio experts to analyze the recordings. And they found something. At exactly 2:21 a.m., on both nights, a sound appeared on the audio track. It wasn't footsteps. It wasn't breathing. It was a low-frequency hum, so faint it was almost inaudible. But it was constant. After analysis, the experts confirmed the most unsettling fact of all. The frequency of the hum matched that of human vocal cords, but it formed no recognizable words, no language. It was just a sound. The sound of a voice with nothing to say. On the third night, the couple couldn't sleep. They refused. They stood up, huddled together on their couch, watching the live feed on a tablet. The minutes ticked by. 2:16 a.m. The hallway was empty. Everything was still. Then, at 2:17 a.m., something new happened. The hallway camera, a fixed position model, physically tilted. It moved upward on its own. It had no motor. It wasn't a remote-controlled pan-tilt-zoom camera. The lens adjusted its angle, as if something was intentionally moving it, to make sure the shape on the ceiling stayed perfectly in frame. And then the final event occurred, the one that made them abandon their home. The camera in the living room, which had been dormant all night, suddenly activated. It swiveled on its base and pointed directly at the couch opposite from where they were sitting. The couch was empty, but on the screen, visible only to the camera's lens, a shape slowly began to form. It wasn't a dark mass this time. It was the faint, shimmering outline of a human figure, standing, motionless, facing the camera, facing them. They didn't scream. They didn't wait. They shut the system off, grabbed their keys, and left the house that very night, leaving everything else behind. The police conducted a full sweep of the house. They found no intruders, no signs of forced entry, no rational explanation. The security company sent their top technicians. They tested the entire system. There was no evidence of hacking, no remote access, no mechanical failures or software bugs that could explain the events. The final report was short. It concluded with a single, unsatisfying word: unexplained. The footage was sealed, classified as non-public evidence, and filed away. But the story doesn't quite end there. Years later, one of the technicians who worked the case allegedly admitted something to a colleague. He said that every time he was forced to review the footage, every time he stared at that screen, the shape in the hallway and the figure in the living room appeared clear, more defined, more solid, as if it knew it was being watched, as if it wanted to be seen. We install security cameras to watch, to protect, to record the truth of our world. But what if they don't just record our world? What if their digital eyes can see into layers of reality that are hidden from us? What if they can perceive shapes, movements, and presences that studiously avoid our human eyes, but can't hide from the cold, unblinking gaze of a machine? Here's a question for you. If your security camera, your Ring, doorbell, anything, started recording something that shouldn't exist, something impossible, what would you do? Would you keep watching, trying to figure out what it is, or would you shut it off immediately? Before it notices that you've noticed, think about it. We install these cameras to feel safe, to keep an eye on things, to protect ourselves. But maybe we've got it all wrong. Maybe, just maybe, some of these cameras aren't there to watch over you. They're just watching and waiting to see when you finally look back. So, next time you check your feed late at night, be careful what you're looking for. It might just be looking for you. Thanks for watching, and if you like this kind of spooky thought experiment, make sure to subscribe for more.